The best of money matters. Right Business.
Welcome to The Right Business, where we dive into the stories of trailblazers who dared to disrupt the status quo, find a gap in the market to find the right business. I'm Nadiah Koh. Robotics is more than just machines. They're about creating intelligent systems that can seamlessly integrate with our world and solve complex problems. Yet, many industries still struggle with adopting autonomous technologies due to the complexity and high cost involved. This is where dConstruct Robotics steps in. As an award-winning deep tech startup, dConstruct is revolutionizing autonomous solutions with its cutting-edge robotics technology designed to be both powerful and user-friendly. At the core of their innovation are solutions that are helping industries like construction, logistics, and search and rescue by providing advanced 3D mapping, autonomous navigation, and enhanced operational efficiency. To share more about how they are making robots smarter, easier to use, and accessible across industries, joining us today is Chinn Lim, CEO and co-founder of dConstruct Robotics. Hi Chinn, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Happy to be with the show.
All right, dConstruct Robotics started in 2021 with the vision of making smarter robots for a better world. What challenges in robotics and automation did you notice that inspired you to start dConstruct?
Well, there were a couple of major trends happening. One being, we know that there are skilled workers that are required for many industries, but there are not enough of them. And while these skilled workers have essentially many things that they can contribute to it, they couldn't find enough people to do the work that the industries were looking for. The second trend about it was there were also work that nobody wants to do. So what end up happening is the skilled workers, not enough of them, and then there are work that's actually available that people don't want to do. So between the two, we believe that, or at least I believe that we can figure out to use AI and automation to solve both these problems.
So because of this, you set out to make robots easier to use, breaking down barriers to adoption across industries. Could you give us an overview of what dConstruct offers and how it's transforming automation?
So we have been working with companies that essentially do inspection of specific environments, say a building or vehicles like trains. And one of the major consideration is they are being done during times like the very late night to the early morning, graveyard shift, we might want to call it. Couldn't find enough people to actually want to take up that job. Second of all is, even if you could find the people, there weren't enough of them, and they will have a very long working schedule. So we use robots to do the inspection so that they alleviate some of the stress points in terms of the skill work. But at the same time, we want to figure out with the existing team who are experts to use this robot to reduce the workload. So consequently, what happens is our robot and our AI system that is deployed allows for some breathing space for some of these industries. Other aspects about the industries actually surrounds the fact that there are significant requirements to have robots do the work that being transferred from technicians or engineers. So it is always an opportunity to learn about the domain and then applying the industries that need the help.
I see. I also understand that you have a Dash Pack, which is d.ash, a portable 3D mapping solution powered by SLAM technology. And unlike traditional mapping methods, Dash Pack allows users to scan environments with or without a robot. So how does this solution work? And what makes it so powerful for industries like construction, logistics, and also security?
Yeah, Dash Pack is a man-packed solution. And what it contains is a LiDAR and a 360 RGB camera with compute inside. Of course, one of the important aspects for a scanner to do is to be able to scan the environment, a reality capture of the environment, as accurately as possible. So with the LiDAR laser solution and with the RGB camera, we are able to provide reality capture with pretty tight parameters, in other words, to the centimeters. And what this allows from the ability for us to fuse this is to be able to give us information that are 3D in nature. So very often, if you were to use just a camera, what you'll get is a picture of the place, but you don't have the sense of depth. So with our scanning solution, we are able to accurately collect information about the environment that robots want to work with. And because we can scan this and we backpack it, it means that a human can walk through places easily and then cover the area of interest that we want to use the robots in. At the same time, we are also capturing data that the human can see so that they can appreciate what the robot sees. But more importantly, because we capture it in high fidelity that is equivalent to what a human sees, the human can then make decision how to figure out what tasks, what missions to take when they have scanned the environment.
I see. So to complement this Dash Pack, you also have the Dash Explorer, which processes and stitches scanned data into high-fidelity maps. Could you share more about how it's helping in mapping accuracy?
Yes. So when we do the Dash Pack, we are essentially capturing the reality and the environment. So this data that we capture needs to be analyzed and processed. So what we do is that we can pass the point cloud information with the RGB data into our Explorer, which process this information to give us very clear picture of what we have scanned. And when we have this data, what we are basically doing is creating from analog information to digital information. And then once you have digital information, you can do a lot of things with it. For example, search from an object, or you want to measure something from your desktop, or if you want to essentially determine what changed over time based on what you capture today versus what was captured, say, a week ago. And then you have many other various capabilities like annotation of what was scanned. So with this information, we are also able to bring up information that otherwise we may have not been obvious for us when we were scanning something out in real time. So when you're at the desk working with our Explorer, you can actually do various analytics, as I mentioned before, and then to add on other capabilities, for example, to use AI to extract an object that you saw and identify where it's located spatially, and also to remove objects if that object you don't want to be in that scene. For example, if there were a person or there were other items in the scene that you want to remove in order to have the built environment that you just want to have. So we can use Explorer to extract a lot of information to analyze what we have captured in real life.
Wow. So we've spoken about the Dash Pack and also the Dash Explorer, but beyond these, you also have other Dash solutions like Dasher and Dash Ops. Could you share more about this?
Certainly. With the scanner and the Explorer, what we are doing is reality capture and making meaning of what we have captured. This information is something we can put into our robot. We call our robot series Dasher. And what that does is that it consumes the reality capture data, which consists of point cloud or RGB data. And we put that as like a preamble for the robot to understand the environment in which the robot is going to work in. This is useful because sometimes robots work in GPS denied or connectivity denied environment. So it has no sense of how it is from the operator point of view talking to it through a teleops method. So that also allows for it to engage autonomous mission. So Dasher, it basically is imbued with all this data for it to carry out the mission. So we configure the robot to allow the robot to carry different sensors for it to execute its mission. And then Dash Ops is actually the platform and application that operates the robot. And so we have the ability to teleops the robot or basically remote control the robot, or we are allowing the robot to autonomously engage its mission by plotting waypoints, as well as at each waypoint, it will be instructed to read a dial or pick up information or to identify as it's moving along for security measures. So we have then the whole platform called the Dash platform that allows us to scan, analyze, configure the robot, and then operate the robot to execute its mission.
It seems that your reality capture technology has been a game changer for search and rescue operations. So, how does your precision mapping help SAR or SAR teams navigate disaster zones with more confidence?
So because we are able to pick up the information from the ground, the environment, at a certain accuracy, which is 3D in nature, up to a couple of centimeters accuracy, we can recreate that environment very well. And we use 3D Gaussian reconstruction to be able to give you fly-through capability of what was scanned. So that allows us, for operators who are sitting at a command center, to be able to understand what's happening on the ground, and is able to go down in detail and fly through all the details that's on the ground, and have that time to carefully analyze what was captured. So this is one of the major capabilities. And of course, when we put in our AI, a machine learning vision system, we are able to pick out anomalies, or say a person of interest, or basically human figure versus other types of objects that we can pick out from all the noise that we see. And when we do this in terms of a unstructured environment, and sometimes for the human eye, we may not pick it up as clearly, but because we can run through this scene in AI and machine learning environment, the algorithms that we put in place, we can actually pick up certain things. Although we will say that they are false positive, but what is also useful is that with the false positive and positive results, we are actually going to pick up stuff that otherwise a human might miss. So the other aspect about this is that we can pick up in different lighting conditions. So there are certain lighting conditions that are not conducive for, say, a RGB or camera system. The LiDAR system kicks in. And where the lighting is not obvious, the LiDAR is able to pick out those objects of interest. The second aspect about it, because we fuse the two data, we actually get higher fidelity. And because of this, the search and rescue is able to pick up the objects or persons of interest in an area that the scanner has gone through. And what I suppose is very useful in this is that it has a 100+ meter range. So it takes less effort to walk around an area and then pick up those when we analyze for the objects or persons of interest.
Okay. So it seems that these features are actually very helpful for first responders to plan and execute rescue missions effectively. I understand that dConstruct also has a type of technology which is able to digitize inspection for trains and critical infrastructure. It's called Scan to Twin. So what are the biggest inefficiencies in traditional inspections, and how does Scan to Twin improve speed, accuracy, and also safety?
So when you talk about scan to twin, one of the obvious expectation is that whatever you scan is representative of the real world. So one of the important aspects is the accuracy. So our solution do provide that accuracy, and the way we do it is when we scan and do the scanning with the different sensors, we fuse that data to give us a very clear picture of what's happening. Out in the world, there are technologies called Gaussian splatting that does it. The difference between our technology and what's currently available is we do it at a faster rate. I would say approximately 10 times faster than what's out there. And then giving it the photorealistic feel of what you see, and actually when we process and digitize it in a digital format, is very close to what you see. So this allows a digital twin of the environment. When we have this digital twin, it means that we are not going to second guess what we see is not what we get. So what that allows us to do is we can go offline and then do a detailed analysis of it. So that's one approach, because we already capture it and we process it. And when we do this, we can actually do annotation, and we can use and apply machine learning to identify different objects that we really want to by. For example, in inspection, is there something that is leaking or there is something that is broken? So one of the great things about things when we use a robot and scanner system to do the scanning is they remember everything they see. And because we can identify objects and segment objects, we can basically ask the robot how many of those items or wheels that you see and how many of those wheels that you will see that shows they was unusually oily. And from that regard, we can also then ask, where is this wheel that you saw that was unusually oily? So then we have actually a spatial context of what we see in the digital twin.
All right, Chinn, you're also part of the RoboNexus Accelerator, which helps robotic startups expand globally. Could you share more about this experience and how has this program supported dConstruct's growth? What key opportunities has it unlocked for you?
So the National Robotics Program has started RobotNexus, which they have identified 6 robot champions within the country to start off with. And what was important about this program was they availed to us their board members who have various experiences as well as representing very large companies. And with this board, they not only provided us guidance in terms of our product roadmap, but they also look at the business development aspects of our product in context of what they know. So with this, we get into a conversation and a dialogue. What makes sense for us as a company, as a startup, to be able to engage at the global level. The second aspect of it is because the NRP RoboNexus has ability to reach out to countries that we don't normally have access to, or to countries' government who has R&D and other programs which they can introduce us to. So that allows us as a small company to access their directory of network for us to not only find soulmates in terms of understanding AI robotics and where it's heading to, but also to figure out if there's a match in engaging the industries based on the strengths and weaknesses of each company, and that we can come together to deliver even better, superior solutions.
I see. So, Chinn, before we let you go, what's next for dConstruct? Are there any exciting projects or innovations that we should look out for?
Yeah, we are very excited to figure out the roadmap that we have that allows us to use our current product to do specific things in the industry that is for inspection, security, and delivery. What's going to be coming out is we are planning 2 major interesting, I'd say, services. The first one is we will be looking at using humanoids to provide services for our concierge in our new office that's coming. So we have invested in a humanoid company, and then we will figure out with them how to use our technology that I mentioned in allowing that humanoid to introduce the company and figure out within our space, within the company, and being basically a host on behalf of our company. The second product we are looking to launch is a delivery solution that is intended to cover the Punggol Digital District. That will allow for both the incumbent tenants for F&B to be able to order, and their food and drinks will be delivered to them, not just to an address, but to any location within Punggol Digital District. And also, we will have inbound parcels and other deliveries that needs to be made within that location, which we will be preparing a delivery hub and network to do just that.
Amazing. We'll definitely have to keep a lookout for that. Thank you, Chinn.
Most welcome. And I'm very excited to share this in the time when it's all ready.
All right. We'll be sure to keep an eye out when all of this is rolled out. That was Chinn Lim, CEO and co-founder of dConstruct Robotics. This has been A Right to Business with me, Nadiah Koh.
To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.